Hey everyone, this is Mr. Thacker. Today we'll be continuing with our oblique sketching lesson, and today we're working on our second problem set, which is 03, 7, 10, and 13. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work through one or more of those problems with you. I think I'll probably focus on just one of those problems with you guys. And let you guys kind of solve the others. But I do want to talk to you guys about the layout of this sheet, remembering or just preparing you guys for proper layout. So let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, so as I mentioned, we're going to do 03, 7, 10, and 13. And the thing about this assignment, so the last one you guys did 01 and 02, but you did both in Cavalier and Cabinet. Okay, in this particular exercise, since you're doing 4 problems, you need to choose whether you're going to use Cavalier or Cabinet oblique. And, you know, you can switch between them. You can do Cavalier for one of the problems and Cabinet for a different problem. For me, I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to go Cabinet for each of my problems. So whatever you choose, what you need to do is you need to write that in there. So for example, I'm going to say Cabinet 03. Okay, and likewise, I'm going to continue to use Cabinet throughout, as I said. So I will label all of these Cabinet just for clarification. So Cabinet 07, and this would be Cabinet 010, and then finally Cabinet 013. Okay, remember, make sure your lettering is very readable. All right, that's important with communication. So we've got all those laid out, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create for you guys Cabinet 10, Cabinet 010. And it's a simple one. It's not a hard one, but I want you guys to kind of work out the others. Actually, you know what? I'm going to switch up and go Cabinet 07. So first thing we want to do is to look at our object, make sure we have the dimensions. And we've done these problems already previously, except for 03. We haven't done problem number 3, but in Cabinet together. So we've done 7, we've done 10, and we've also done 13. So I'm going to do number 7 and lay that out for you guys. We've already got the dimensions, so we just need to come in here and lay out the axes. So let me go ahead and zoom in for you guys and begin this process of laying out the axes to create this object. Okay, now one thing to remember is that in oblique, everything that's on the front maintains true shape and size, okay? So there's no distortion like there is in an isometric sketch. So let me go ahead and count off the dimensions. So we're looking at 5, 10, make that mark. And then the height is 6, so we'll make that mark. And then the depth, because I've chosen to go Cabinet, I need to remember that, that's important. I'm going back 2 lines, okay? So I'll begin to box, which is my first step. Okay, so this is allowing me, by stepping off my dimensions, that allows me to create my box. And then I'll take my edges back. All right, and create my, so there was my front box, but that's only 2D. We need a box in 3D. So there we go in 3D. And so now you can see my box. I'm ready to move on into creating the shape, or establishing the shape. So to establish the shape, we need to look at our problem, and we know that in the front view shows the best shape, and we've got this triangular feature, and that's 5 blocks over to the middle. So I already have point 1 and point 2, but I do not have point 3, and that's what I need to locate. So right here is 0.3. And the challenge again is you can't follow the grid line here. Right? The challenge again in creating this is to trust oneself. Right? And I certainly missed it on that. And to create those lines. So there's my shape in 2D, but I need to make it three-dimensional. Bring all your edges back. This one's already going back, and this one I wouldn't be able to see. So that brings it back to this point. So I'll connect these two. Let me rotate, make it a little bit easier on myself. Okay, and so I'm trying to connect right there. And there is my shape in 3D, okay? So it's a little bit off the grid, and it's enough if you don't focus on that endpoint that you'll mess up like I did, okay? So watch out for that. All right, that takes me to my next step, which is to, add my detail in. So there's my detail. It's a little cutout that we can see both in the top view and the right side view. So it's 3 blocks up or 3 blocks down. So let's go ahead and apply that. I'm just going to count down from the top and make a light line across through there. Notice where the intersection is. So I'm just going to make some points here where those exist. And I need to move those back, so I'm going to give it depth. So right now I see it as a 2D shape. I need to give it depth. And the line is a little bit off. It's kind of awkward to see. And then go back. So the depth is 1 block, right? So the whole object is 2 blocks, or technically from the sheet it's 4, but remember we're doing cabinet oblique, so we cut that in half. So if the depth of our detail is 2 blocks, then we need to cut that in half and make it 1 block. So I'm going to count back 1 block here, and right there's that mark on that line. Do the same here, 1 block, okay, and 1 block. And so what I need to do, just like I did in isometric, is I need to connect those points, okay? It's like making the isometric line. So I'll do this one, which is on the grid already, okay, and then connect these, which is a little bit difficult, okay? It's a little bit difficult. You can see how that's working out. It's so close to the grid line, or to the existing shape that I have there, that it barely changes. So if I can hold that up a little bit closer for you guys, you can see the subtle difference that exists there with that cutout, with those edges over here on the left side. So that's important, because that makes it, doing that right makes it look more correct, okay? So now I've added my detail. So I'm ready to darken my object, okay? So I want to do this well, right? And getting those angles right is important, and I did okay on that one. Rotate your paper to help you out. So you can see the detail, and if we zoom back in again, I'll lift up the paper so you can see. If you zoom back in, you can see those lines and how much difference it is from that, the shape to the actual cutout of that detail. Okay, you can see how close those lines actually are. So I'll go ahead and create the rest of the lines. And this is the hard one. As is that one there. Okay, and there's the object. Okay, that is the object. And so from here, certainly we can create another problem. And so I will go ahead with maybe partially creating O10 with you guys. So let me go ahead and do that with you guys. We can work this in on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out my axes. I know that my width is 10. Okay, and my height is 6. and my depth is going to be 2. So again, I'll just box that object, just speeding up a little bit because we're getting better at this. Okay, and there we go. So the object now has been boxed, box method. Next step is to establish the shape. If we look at number 10, the shape is a rectangle, okay, a rectangular prism, so we don't have to worry about that. We want to add in our detail. Our detail center point's in the middle. Radius is 3. So we'll go ahead and find that center point, okay, and I'll strike a center line. I'm going to count over 3 to the left and to the right, and then down 3. The beauty is, because this is not isometric, or because this is oblique, I should say, the shape appears true shape and size. So it's an arc. It's not an elliptical half circle, okay? But I still need to think about technique, and right there we've got, you know, having this grid paper makes it so easy for us, but we can measure out that radius on the grid paper and then transfer that to the diagonals. Okay, do the same on the other side, transfer that to the diagonals, and then just come back in here, and I'm going to rotate this paper around, come back in here and line up 3 points at a time to force that curve, okay? 3 points at a time. So going upside down on you guys. Okay, and you've got that curve. Now, that's only in 2D, so what we need to do is give it depth, like we've done with our box. So I would likewise take that point back just so you have it, and that point. And we know that this feature is 1 block deep, so we'll just take that across. Now, I have this point, so all I'm going to do to make this easy on myself is move these points back 1 block on the z-axis. So that's back 1 block, okay? That point right there is approximately, let me see if I can get it right, is approximately right, no, that's not it. Yeah, it is it, right there. And then this point here is approximately right there. And then I've got that point. So all I've got to do is line these points up, so I don't have to worry about using the technique. I am using a technique, and that technique is just to move the points back the depth of the object. And so I'm going to lightly, and there I've got the curve, okay? So now all I've got to do is come in and darken that up, and I'll leave that to you guys to wrap up. Remember, don't darken this part of the line because we can't see it, okay? Just darken up the rest. Darken up your curves first, and you'll have that object complete, okay? So that's it for this sheet, and I wish you the best in completing that sheet. I hope it turns out well. Remember to render one of the examples. Take care.